They need to be ashamed that this man is still representing them. Not even considering his own legal issues, his own baggage that he brings to it. What he's about to say here is so ignorant.
Let me just ask you, can a black person ever just be convicted of killing a white person in this country without it becoming like a major race issue? Like some of the comments that you made outside the courthouse today, I don't know why you do that. You stir things up, you make it about race, and that could...
Let me also just add,
why do we have to bring race in the situation? The reality is that if you know about this
I didn't say we, I said you.
No, hold on,
Why do you? Why do you, Dominic? Not the black race.
No, let me make this very clear.
He's a convicted murderer tonight, so he's a thug.
Let me finish.
He's a thug. He's not a hero.
Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. Let's get at it. Karmelo Anthony and his family need to have a true reckoning. They need to have a come to Jesus meeting. They need to sit down and have a real honest conversation about what in the Lord's name are they doing. I believe they missed very key opportunities before this trial started, while this trial was going on, to hopefully give Karmelo Anthony an opportunity to get out, or at least an opportunity for less than 35 years. But now it's a wrap. And my goodness, in the morning, this Dominique Alexander fellow is hot trash. I don't know why they keep having this man represent them. They're not going to separate themselves from him. That's just a given at this point. But my gosh, in the morning, this interview is horrible, because Newsmax is not playing games with him. They are pushing back on him, and it is something to behold. Let's get going. Let's go.
A Texas jury found 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in April of 2025 during a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. He was just sentenced to 35 years in prison. And to lay this all out for you, due to the rain, there was bad weather. The track events were delayed that day, and Anthony, a Centennial High School student, sought shelter under a Memorial High School tent. Moments later, an argument broke out, and Anthony was asked repeatedly to leave that tent. One witness claimed Anthony responded by calling the group a name before he reached into his backpack saying, quote, "Touch me and see what happens," end quote. After some shoving, Anthony pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest, piercing his heart. Prosecutors argued that the killing was a provoked and unjustified murder. They called 21 witnesses. The defense argued it was self-defense. Karmelo Anthony did not testify in his own defense. Immediately after the jury's decision, protesters gathered outside, claiming this was the latest example of Black lives not mattering.
But what this process did is shown that Black lives do not matter in Collin County. This trial showed that it put emotions over the law. After Trayvon Martin and so many countless names, it has shown us that Black life is not safe in Collin County.
Minister Dominique Alexander is the man that you just heard from in that video. He is a spokesman for the Anthony family. Minister, it's nice to have you.
They need to be ashamed that this man is still representing them. Not even considering his own legal issues, his own baggage that he brings to it. What he's about to say here is so ignorant. And I'm telling you, man, these people do not want Karmelo Anthony to get out anytime. They want him to be in there for 50 years. Listen to this.
Juan, you keep saying that Black lives don't matter, but no Black lives were lost here. A 17-year-old white person was killed. So what are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is 35 years. Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years. Yet at the end of the day, Black America repeatedly is told that self-defense is a part of the law. That a knife under 5 inches is legal in the state of Texas. That stand your ground is legal here in the state of Texas. But when a Black person try to use those same basic rights and laws, then We're not afforded those things. We're doing those things unjustifiably.
Well, that's not what a jury found today. Can you tell me, I know you know Carmelo Anthony well, why did he bring a knife to a track meet?
I can't comment on that. What I can do, I can't speak for Carmelo Anthony, but
Right.
I can tell you that the state of Texas made it legal. So at the end of the day, if a person got a problem with it, they might need to call Governor Greg Abbott and tell him, why does this state have open carry
Sure,
laws? Why
sure,
does it have
but
brass knuckles and etc. Right?
stabbing somebody in the heart, though, sir, is definitely not legal.
And he's using the same fallacy that's been going on forever. The 3.5, 5-inch, whatever blade is legal in the state, but it's not legal at school. And you use it as a weapon. That's it. I mean, if you could kill somebody with a marshmallow, it would still be wrong. You killed somebody with a marshmallow. Just because they sell marshmallows at the Kroger, just because they sell marshmallows at the Jewel and Osco, that don't mean that you can go around and use it as a weapon to kill somebody. This guy's just dumb.
He could have just turned around and walked out of that
Why did he
tent
not?
at any moment.
Yes.
And based on what you have been told about the situation, I can see how you can take that fact. But the levels of injustice that was done in this trial is not how I was told, right? But at the end of the day, that's the reason why we're going to go through a full appeals process.
This is what I mean right here. They don't know. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You don't get a full appeal as if you can just say, oh, I don't like the outcome. Let's just do another one. Let's run it back. That's how they're treating it. You don't get to do that. You don't just get to say, oh, I didn't like the outcome. I want another trial to see if I get a better outcome. That's not what happens. And he clearly doesn't know this. Watch.
That's the reason why we're going to go through a full appeals process to ensure that the facts are being told correctly. But me and you are going to go back and forth.
No, that's fine. Tell me. I'm curious. Tell me. Tell me what you think happened.
What I think is the situation is that someone asked Carmelo Anthony to come over there. He knew an individual, but that's not being told, right? It's like, oh, a kid just randomly went under a tent, right? And he just sitting there. No one knows who he is. That's not the case, right? We know that Carmelo Anthony knew an individual. He knew a coach. He spoke about it. We also know that Frisco ISD should have counseled that. This wasn't just raining. We were under a tornado watch that day, right?
He's used this before. He tried to bring up that the school district was negligent because they didn't cancel the track meet because they were under a tornado warning. And so basically he did tacitly bring this up last year that the school district was actually at fault for Carmelo stabbing Austin. That's what I mean. Like this dude, the Anthony family should have cut ties with this man a long time ago.
And this should have been something that was actually.
Wait, you're telling me that because somebody invited him to that tent and there might have been a tornado warning, which happened all the time in Texas, that he was warranted in stabbing a 17-year-old kid in the chest, in the heart, and killing him?
That's not the case. But what you cannot do is put your hands on someone.
Well, you just told me that was the case.
No.
Is that the case? Because I want to know what the case is. I seriously do.
You asked me the first time, why was he under the tent or close or whatever it may be, right? The reality is that the state of Texas says that I don't have to, when I'm assaulted, I don't have to return the same level of force, correct? Isn't that the law?
Yeah, he was asked to leave that tent multiple times, and the prosecution called 21 witnesses. Hold on. The prosecution called 21 witnesses, and they all corroborated that. They all said that he was asked to leave the tent. There might have been.
They all didn't have. No, sir.
He was asked to leave the tent, so he could have left that tent at any time. He chose not to. That's why he's going to jail for 35 years.
All 21 of them did not have the same story.
You don't have to have the same story, because then it does sound like you're coached. But your story has to be consistent. You can't say that he flew in. One witness says he crawled in through a Ninja Turtle tunnel. The other one says he materialized out of nowhere. You can't do that because those aren't consistent. If they say, yeah, he walked over and he just sat down and he was on the third bleacher, he walked over and sat down, he was on the fourth bleacher. That's consistent that they at least understood he walked over and sat down. Where he exactly sat, maybe I don't know exactly where he sat because I wasn't looking for that. But see, that's what I'm saying. These people do not want this man to ever get free.
They did not have the same story. And that's why so many people outside of that courtroom is outraged right now. If you look at anything about this case, all 21 of them did not have the same story.
Tell me about the defense witness, because the defense did not call Karmelo Anthony. If Karmelo Anthony truly thought he was innocent, he's 19 years old. He's not a kid. He's 19 years old. Why didn't he take the stand in his own defense? And why did the defense's only witness change their story on the witness stand?
Karmelo Anthony testifying in his own trial is his own right? And that's a decision that Karmelo Anthony and his parents has to make, right? And that was a decision that was made through.
So why are you up here speaking about this? I do wonder, man. I kind of wonder, did the family cut ties with this guy? Do they really still rock with him? This is wild. I really would like to know, does the Anthony family still support this man? Or is he just doing this because they never really verbally and officially cut ties with him?
The legal process, right? And through this process, of course, there's going to have to be some major reviews, right? But as far as changing the witness changing what he changing his testimony, I'm trying to figure out how someone going to say he changed his testimony. Were you privy to his testimony prior to?
Well, he changed his testimony. He was during cross-examination. He said that there was not an altercation under the tent, and he didn't witness an altercation. So I don't think that was something the defense was planning on. And clearly it didn't play well for this 12-person jury. Let me just ask you, can a black person ever just be convicted of killing a white person in this country without it becoming like a major race issue? Like some of the comments that you made outside the courthouse today, I don't know why you do that. You stir things up, you make it about race, and that could...
Let me also just add, this gentleman right here, Dominique Alexander, is the first one, not the first one, but he really was the one to kick off the whole racial issue at that press conference where they kicked out Jeff Metcalf. That's his shtick. So he was the one that really got this going in this direction. It was already aimed in this direction. He gave it a really good push.
Lead to rioting and protests and looting tonight. The bottom line is more people could get hurt. More people could get hurt.
I'm glad that you will say that, why do we have to bring race in the situation? The reality is that if you know about this
I didn't say we, I said you. Why do you?
Hold on.
Why do you, Dominic? Not the
this.
black race.
No, let me make this very clear. As the president of the largest human and civil rights organization in North Texas, what I witnessed on April 3rd was white people going on posts in social media calling Karmelo Anthony a thug, not a 4.0 GPA, not a person that
he's a convicted murderer tonight, so he's a thug.
Let me finish.
He's a thug. He's not a hero.
He's not a hero. Say a black man is bringing race, his race shouldn't have never been a factor. He shouldn't have never. Jake Lane. I don't see you calling out Jake Lane that said Karmelo Anthony should sit there and be hung from a tree and shot outside the Collin County Jail. I never brought race into this situation. We had to.
I didn't bring race into the situation either. You brought race into this when you made those comments that we played at the beginning of the segment, making this about race.
We had to make sure that due process is done. All we want is our rights and be afforded the same basic rights that everyone is afforded to, sir. And I'm sorry if I gotta talk about my race to make sure that I can have the same afforded right that a white man
Dominic, he had a fair trial, and you're certainly open. You can appeal that. But the last time I checked, it's not legal for white people to stab black people in the state of Texas either.
Hey,
Dominic Alexander, appreciate you being here. We got to leave it there.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good look for the Anthony family at all. They should have cut ties with Dominique Alexander because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know. It sounds even like he wasn't actually there at the trial himself, or at least in the courtroom, paying attention. It doesn't sound like he was really dialed in. And it doesn't seem like he has any interaction, any back and forth with the family, and good gracious, not the legal team. So why is he there? Why? Comment down below. Let me know, why is Dominique Alexander still around? And do you feel like he does help the the defense, or do you think he's a liability? Let me know what you think. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say. I'll see you down in the comment section, everybody. And we'll do this again real soon. Until next time, everyone, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.